He's on fire!
What is up? Welcome to the stream. As always, I'm your host, Tree City West. Hope everybody's having a good Monday. Doesn't really feel like a Monday. Kind of feels like a Friday. Kind of feels like Christmas almost with the VMPX mint, Xendependence Day tomorrow. Hot as balls. My glasses are fogging up. It's so bright in here. So I kind of goofed up. I wanted to talk about this new script and everything, but I didn't install it on this computer. So we might have to do everything from scratch, but I'll go over that tonight. As always, we'll start off with Bitcoin. We'll take a look at the Zen ecosystem, and then we'll start talking about the VMPX launch tomorrow. So we got a lot to talk about tonight. Might as well get right into it. Man, I might have to lose the shades tonight. Just got out of the shower and I'm hot as balls. What's up, Caleb? Welcome, Casey, James. Hi, Allie. Hi, Ryan. Thank you guys for coming to the show. Hopefully the music's not too loud. Not sure if you can hear the fireworks in the background, but people are going crazy. But as usual, we'll start off with Bitcoin. And a couple days ago, I called out this pattern on the stream, a little consolidation on the daily, and that the RSI had a little room to run, and we kind of see that playing out exactly as we called it. So that's kind of good to see. Who knows if it'll make the full measured move up to 32,500, but it looks like it's on its way. So we might be in for a couple bullish days on Bitcoin, and that's always good for the entire market. Really depends on the news, though. But there's some more bullish news about crypto and Bitcoin ETFs, so that's exciting to hear. Nice little pump action today. Let's head over to Crypto Bubble, see you on the big movers, and man, look at Pepe. It's going crazy. I'm hearing about all the people on Pulsechain taking their Pepe profits. Richard Hart telling them to go over there, and all the Pepe people talking shit about him. It's pretty funny. He's mad about it on Twitter. But it is good to see Pulsechain up 5%. We got Pepe up 15%. FXS up 8%. Render up 8%. I think I'm gonna have to change this music. It's driving me a little crazy. There we go. That's a little better. But yeah, so we got some movement today. A couple coins down. Obviously, FTT had that huge pump earlier in the week. It's still up 20% on the week, but it's down 11% on the day. So hopefully you didn't buy the top there. I like to stay away from that one. I'm not a fan of FTX. But yeah, let's go check out the Pulsechain ecosystem over here. Let's see. So Pulsechain's actually green today. It took a pretty big dip, so that's good to see. You see Hex up 15%, PLSX up 8%, incentive token up 5% in the last day. That's good to see. Let's pivot over to the Zen ecosystem. See if we got any big movers today. We got Moonbeam and Phantom and OK Zen making some big moves. I think now that the burn for the auctions is a little more clear, the side chains, the chains with the smaller liquidity are starting to pump, which is exciting to see for sure. There's going to be a lot more liquidity coming, hopefully, as people want to buy the Zen and burn it. Then we see regular Zen's down 4%. I wonder if this is people taking profits on their Zen to prepare for VMPX. See, we got a lot of red over here. Drew this on the chart a couple days ago. It's kind of holding true. We're still making higher lows, which is good. You know, as long as we hold this trend line, it's kind of a bullish move. Hopefully we just keep going like that, nice and smooth. I saw DB Zen earlier was down to $2 and something. That's pretty crazy. And all across the board, DB Zen's down quite a bit. I think it's just people getting ready for VMPX, trying to build that X1 allocation. It's unfortunate for DBZen because it's an awesome DeFi protocol. It's one of my favorite parts of the Zen ecosystem, but people need the liquidity, so they have to pull it from somewhere, unfortunately. Let's pull up DXN. Right now it's sitting at $3.26, but at one point it got all the way down to $2.89. I wish I was paying attention. But that wicked down. So this is on the 1 minute. So it wicked down there. It was down there for less than a minute. So there must have been some buy orders under $2 or under $2.90. It got as low as $2.89.83. It came right back up. Another whale. So you can see this is kind of there's just a couple certain whales that are dumping, waiting for it to react, dumping, waiting for it to come back. And we talked about the other day. It's just kind of going to be the same cycle until the whales get washed out. So that's kind of the Zen ecosystem. What else do we have over here? Look at the main watch list. Anything sticking out? Not really. It's good to see Pulsechain making a nice move up to the upside. Everything's kind of reacting to the Bitcoin pump, which is always good to see. But shout out to the 7 watchers. Glad you guys are here. So we got so much to talk about. We're talking about the VMPX mint tomorrow and the Zen ecosystem. It's nice that Bitcoin's getting this little pump. We got news coming with the bitmaps, some new products coming out. But really our focus tonight is going to be on VMPX. I'm really kind of proud of myself. I've been working on learning code, and I've been looking at Solidity ever since I got into the BSC shitcoins back in April 2020, April 2021. So I finally am starting to push myself to learn more Solidity and also how I can use the smart contracts, specifically with like scripts. So I'm using Python scripts and JavaScript to actually control what the smart contracts are doing, and you can kind of automate things. You can check for things. You could pull information from the blockchain and use that information to make your experience better, or to learn new things. So I've been doing that a lot lately, and today I kind of built my first script that actually does something really cool. And shout out to Zensu and Jack 11. They definitely inspired me to do this, and then Zensu actually popped up in the More Token chat and the Zen World chat, and he also responded on Twitter, gave me some pointers for the code, which was awesome. But I was actually able to design a VMPX mint bot. So what this mint bot does is it watches the blockchain for the block number that they said that the mint will start at. And as soon as that block hits, it'll execute the mint, and it'll ask for things like what's your GUI limit and how much, what do they call it? How much power do you want to spend? So it actually works. So what we'll do tonight is I'll demonstrate it for you guys on the DevNet, on the X1 DevNet. It worked on there and I couldn't believe it. I was like, holy shit, this code that I wrote actually minted some VMPX automatically when a certain block number hit. So that was really cool. I haven't really had a chance to get ready, so I guess we'll get right into it. The first thing you need to do, so this is my streaming PC. What you typically want to do is use some type of sandbox. If you're going to be messing with this stuff, you don't want to mess with this on your computer itself. You can run what's called a virtual machine or a sandbox, and then when you run these things, it won't actually damage your real computer. It'll just damage that virtual machine, and it'll be contained within that virtual machine. However, I'm not doing that right now. I'm kind of pressed for time, so I'm just going to install it right on my streaming machine. So basically, I'm heading over to this website here. It's python.org, and we're going to download the Python. It's the Python system kit. I forget what it's called. The system development kit, the SDK, or it's the environment. So we're downloading the Python environment. I'll run through the installation really quick. Basically, you just install this right on your computer, and then you'll be able to run these Python scripts from a command prompt or, another type of console. I just hope this doesn't ask to reboot my computer. I might not be demonstrating anything for you guys. We'll see what happens here. The stream might get a little wonky for a second. Did you find a contract to work from? No, it's actually built into the code. So, what you do, it feels a little sketchy. I'm obviously not using my main wallet, but you have to put in your own private key. So you put in your private key and your public key into the script. and it'll execute it that way. So obviously I'm going to set up a wallet, I'll send some ETH to it, I'll use the private key and the key, and then I'll run the script. In the version that I have on GitHub here that you guys can actually download, I made it open source. So shout out to Jack for retweeting that. I thought that was really cool. You can download it and download the Python environment. You can run the code, pop the code into ChatGPT to see exactly what it does. It basically just asks for your private key and your public key, and then it monitors the block, and then it executes the trade. So it's not necessarily like an LP sniper bot. Those are typically smart contracts. I believe they're going to be blocking smart contracts from interacting with the mint. This is more so just a bot that'll create the transaction for me and execute it faster than I can. So I don't have to sit here and click on MetaMask and wait for MetaMask to load. This automates the entire process for me. So first step is installing Python. So that's what we're doing right now. What's up, ADZ? What's up, Caleb? What's up, Dougie Fresh? Casey James. Welcome to the stream. So once this installation finishes, I'll actually run through the whole thing. It's pretty cool. I made a special show version so I don't have to type in the private key and the public key. It's already hard-coded in there because I obviously can't put that on stream. But what we will do... So right now this is live. If you guys want to test what the experience is like tomorrow, you can actually come over to test.getvmpx.com and test minting VMPX right from the site. But what I'm looking for is the actual block explorer here down at the bottom. If you click on the contract address on the bottom of the screen, it'll take you to the DevNet block explorer. So this is the VMPX contract. Oh, I forgot which wallet I use. Oh, it's in the script. Give me 1 second here. So if you guys have any questions, just pop it in the chat. Let me know what you think. Almost time for VMPX. Let's fucking go. I know, right? Why is VMPX going down in price? I think, honestly, I think people are taking profits so they have capital for the mint tomorrow. So if you're in VMPX, you know what's happening with eVMPX and you want to participate. So you pull some profit out of there and move it over to ETH. How'd you learn, like a Udemy course? No, I'm actually self-taught. Shout out to ChatGPT. I've always been a computer nerd though, so I've always been like writing little scripts and creating little stupid web pages and stuff, but this is my first time actually doing something with blockchain, so I'm really proud of it. Alright, let's see here. Alright, so the setup was successful, and I didn't have to reboot my computer. So now we'll be able to run scripts in Python, which is pretty cool. So let me download the script here. But yeah, it's really self-taught. I kind of know how code works. That's what I went to school for. I have a BBA, computer information systems, so I understand how code works, so I know how to ask the right questions out of GPT. I'm not just like, you know, create a smart contract that does this. I kind of tell it what to do in each function and kind of break it down, and then I ask it to another session, like what the code does, and if it tells me it does something different than I thought, then I know I have to go change it. And like just kind of what the different expressions and stuff are. I know, like, you know, capital and lowercase are very specific in certain types of languages and stuff. I am by no means like a coder though. This is a hobby for me for sure. Okay, so let me download the Python script onto this computer. Cool. So when I say console, I mean like this little command prompt screen here. And basically, if you're familiar with how files work, you know, there's different types of files. These Python files are .py files. So if you click on this .py file, you can actually open this in a text editor like Notepad, and you can go in here and see the code and see what the code actually is and what it does and everything. So that's interesting. It looks like I got some edits here I might have to check out, or that might just be me. That's pretty cool. This must be things that, yeah, these are changes that I made. That's sick. That is really cool. So you just download this code, you save it as a PY file, and then you open up command prompt, and then you tell it Python, the name of the PY file, and you tell it to run it. So let's go through that really quickly here. Should have been better prepared, but I've been so busy today. So we'll name it VMPX. All right, cool. So I basically created a folder and I downloaded the PY file to it. So if you come over to GitHub, you download the file, you put it in a folder. So we have Python installed, we have our folder, we have our file. Now I'm going to type in cd, the name of the folder, to navigate to that folder. There's a command you can run called dir. It'll show you everything in that folder. So you can see inside of this folder, VMPX, I actually have the VMPX mintbot-devnet. So this is the devnet version one that won't ask me for the private key live on stream. Let me see if I can zoom in here, make this a little bigger. Oh, come on, we need to be big. Let's go with 36. Can you guys see that? All right, so now that I have my VMPX folder navigated to, I typed in cd, VMPX, I'm inside the folder. I can see the files inside the folder. I'm gonna type in VMPX mintbot-devnet.py. And it's gonna execute all that code in the folder, and it's gonna ask me some questions that the code says to ask. Hopefully. I'm sorry, first you have to put Python. This is not the music. There we go. Alright, so we're gonna run Python VMPX mintbot-devnet.py. Oh, I have to, sorry, I forgot to run the import. And I actually have that listed in the README. So that's my fault for not following my own instructions. If you come back here, come to the README, you also have to install the Web3 library, which is this command right here. So once you install Python, you have to install the Web3 library. You can just copy and paste this code, pip install Web3. It'll actually download the Web3 thing. It'll install it for the Python installation on my computer. And this is how you can use the Web3 commands specifically. So once you get these commands in here, it'll allow me to interact with the smart contracts in my keys, essentially. So you can see it's successfully installed. It's installing packages for ETH, you know, all these different WebSockets. That's an important one. Web3 is the big one. So we're just waiting for this installation to finish. Cool. All right, so it's successfully installed. Now we're going to run the Python script, now that I have the right dependencies installed. So we're going to run the command python vmpx mintbot-devnet.py. Perfect. Okay, so I ran the command, and now it's asking me what's the GUI value. So if I want to buy it 100 GUI or lower, or 80 GUI or lower, I'm going to type in my upper limit here. And what it's going to do is it's going to check the price of GUI, and if it hits that price of GUI, it'll actually mint it. And I actually have it programmed to mint 10 more GUI than what the current GUI is, just so I have a little buffer there. So I'm going to say So we're gonna have to do this two ways on the DevNet. So the X1 DevNet is pegged to 100 GUI. So if I put 99.5 GUI, this shouldn't run. It's gonna say it's waiting for GUI to drop under 100. It's never gonna drop under 100 on the X1 DevNet, but that's what will happen here. So now it's gonna ask me for the power value. The power value is actually that's what the website asks you. So if you come over, oops. Let me switch over to the X1 DevNet. So when the script is asking you what power is, it's actually the slider right here. So you can put a number between 1 and 195. So if I want to mint 5 power, it's going to mint me 1000 VMPX. So I'll come back to my script here, and I'm going to put a power value of 5. So it's actually running the script right now. So this is the current X1 block number. This is how much XN I have in my wallet. And the current GUI is 100. It's higher than what I told it to mint at. So since the current GUI is at, I told it to mint at 99.5. The current GUI is 100. It's waiting for the next block to see if it's gonna mint. And it'll actually check. There's a number within the script that you can change between the amount of seconds that it's gonna check. I think right now this is set to every 30 seconds. So in about 30 seconds, it should say the next thing. It's just constantly checking the blocks to see if the gas is lower than what I set it to. So we'll let it run for a second here. And I'll show you where in the code. So if we pull up the Python script, it'll actually say sleep. Oh, so I have it. Oops, I have it for 13 minutes. So it's actually going to wait for 13 minutes. You can actually change, it's in seconds. So I'm going to change this to 30 seconds. I'm getting some crazy music today. How about this one? All right. Cool. So I'm going to make a quick change to my Python script, and I'm going to tell it to check every 5 seconds instead of every 13 minutes or whatever I had it set to. Yeah, we'll go 5 seconds. Sorry, I can't put that one on the screen because it has my private key showing. Okay, so now I'm going to run the same thing. We're going to go through the same steps. It's going to ask me the GUI. I'll do 99.5 again, so it shouldn't mint. I'm going to say a power of 5. And then every 5 seconds, it should be checking. So it's waiting for the next block. Oh, I don't think I hit save. 1 second. There we go. So now I set the time delay to 5 seconds and I hit save that time. So we're gonna go 99.5 GUI. We'll do a power value of 5. And it should start checking the blocks. It's supposed to anyway. There we go. So it's actually set to 30 seconds there. So it's going to run through this every 30 seconds. I'd like to change it to 5 seconds. And this is basically what I've been doing all day is outside of work. I'm just kind of running this code, checking to see what it does, changing a few things, running it back, changing a few things, running it back, and it's just been a lot of fun. Learning these little nuances and how the different blockchains work, even just between Ethereum and Pulsechain. It's so different. But okay, so now say the gas drops below or above 100, or say I want to mint at 105. So I'll type in a GUI value of 105 and I'll type in the power value, and this is what the script actually does. So it sees the block number, we're past the block number, it sees I have tokens in my wallet, it mints the VMPX tokens, puts my account address there, I hit it on stream, has the GUI and the power, the starting block. So it actually sent the transaction to the blockchain, waiting for this transaction to be mined. Yep. This is definitely, I don't know if it's my computer or what, but this seems to be taking a lot longer than it was earlier. And there we go. So batch claimed successfully. Now, if I actually pull up my wallet address, and I don't mind sharing the public key, I just can't share the private key, of course. So now I'm actually going to pull up my wallet that minted this, and you guys can see what the transaction looked like. So here's the transaction 45 seconds ago. You can see it called the contract. The call was a success. It minted 1,000 VMPX because I typed in a power of 5. You know, that's what the VMPX website says. I successfully received the 1,000 VMPX, and the bot worked. I couldn't believe it. I was so happy. Like, how cool is that? I don't have to mess with MetaMask and worry about like everyone using the same thing. I can actually just use a private node to mint the VMPX. And hopefully that'll give me a heads up, you know, a head start. But obviously everyone's going to be doing this, so it's a lot of fun. You know, it's definitely a learning experience. I've never done anything this. I'm not telling you guys to do this. I don't know if it's like best practices. You know, definitely don't use a wallet that has a bunch of stuff in it. Use a fresh wallet, and only, you know, I get scared when I start seeing private keys and stuff. So definitely want to watch that. But that's what we've been working on over here for sure. It's been a lot of fun. If you guys have any questions, I'm happy to help. Definitely pop in, let me know. I've been getting a lot of questions in Twitter, and I appreciate it. Definitely keep them coming. And I like to help in any way I can. So what I might do, my strategy for this is I'm definitely going to do it manually live on stream. So we'll be streaming manually tomorrow. And I'll probably set up the bot to run at a couple different GUI levels just to see if that works. You know, if it doesn't work, I won't be mad because I'm also manually going to be doing it. But either way, I'm excited to try something new, especially if it works. That's going to be it's going to be a good feeling. Like I did something right for once. I completed something that I wanted to work on for myself. That's pretty cool. But anyways, so as I mentioned, we'll be streaming tomorrow. I'll probably start the stream off about 11. I believe, I wasn't sure where the countdown was, but I think it's starting shortly before noon. Either way, I'll be starting about an hour before it goes, before the actual thing. We'll have a countdown. We'll be all getting pumped for it. So hope you guys will join me. We'll definitely be watching the other people streaming. If anybody's streaming, we'll be jumping around to other streams. We'll be checking the Mint Monitor bot. We'll be seeing exactly what happens. So, what else we got going on? I had some interesting questions about DBZen and the DBZ NFTs, and I saw someone in here asked about it. I was in the Twitter space last night, kind of chatting with the Zen people that have a little Twitter thing going on almost every night. shout out to Rome and Hexy and those guys. But we were kind of talking about DBZen and DB's NFTs, and I had an interesting thought of a different way to think about it. So think about a liquidity pool. And this is under the premise that, you're basically wrapping your NFT and you're getting a DB's NFT. Inside that DB's NFT is going to be your DBZen and your ZenFT. And that ZenFT has future Zen. When your mint date approaches, you're able to on-stake or unwrap your ZenFT and claim the Zen. So essentially what you're doing with these DB's NFTs is you're creating an NFT that is basically a mobile liquidity pool. But it's not just any liquidity pool, it's a liquidity pool that's half DBZen and half your future Zen. So that's how you get power inside of your DB's NFT. You have your DBZen and your future Zen. And now if you pull your ZenFT out of there to go claim your Zen in your ZenFT, then your liquidity pool is one-sided and it loses power. So it's kind of an interesting way to think about it. Your DB's NFT is basically a liquidity pool of your estimated future Zen and your DBZen. If you take some of your DBZen out, the pools are not even and you have less power and you're going to get less rewards. If you're fully powered up, all the estimated future Zen has DBZen to match it. Then you're going to have a powerful DB's NFT and you're going to get a ton of rewards. Now that gets less and less every day, and I believe that's because your estimated future Zen is growing as time passes. So you're having more estimated Zen on the one side, you have to add more DBZen to power it up, and you're expanding the liquidity pool. And then that way the DBZen NFT becomes an even bigger liquidity pool, it gets more power, and then you get more of the native token rewards. So that's my 2 cents on the DB's NFT, how I'm thinking about it. I think that's kind of an interesting concept. So yeah, if you guys have any questions about that, I'd be happy to talk about that as well. ARS6 says, which sandbox VM do you prefer? I'm most familiar with VMware, but I like Windows on my personal side. So I work a lot with Windows and Hyper-V. Hyper-V is built into Windows, and Windows Sandbox is also built into Windows. So those are convenient. But if it's something like professional for work, I'm definitely using VMware. ESX. That's kind of the way to go for me. You can also do something like a VPS. Like you can get a server on Amazon and just do it for that. And that way it's not even on your computer. You can just remote into it wherever you are. I know a lot of people do that. They'll have like a virtual server in the cloud, and rather than having all their stuff locally, they just connect to it. And that's a very popular way to do it too. It's just weird because when you install Python, you're kind of opening yourself up to other Python scripts to run maliciously on your machine. So it's not that it's not safe. You just have to know what you're doing. If you run the wrong script, you could really fuck yourself. So definitely want to be careful. That's what's nice about the sandbox is your regular computer and your files and your data and your PII. That's all protected and not exposed. It'll be inside of the virtual machine. But as with everything, there's best practices. You also have to be careful about all that too. And my work life is getting too close to my fun life. Crypto's supposed to be my fun time. I'm working on code and working on scripts. That's what I work in technology during my day job. It's a lot funner in crypto though, that's for sure. I'm actually working on another one. Let me see if I grabbed it. This one's actually for Pulsechain. Let me throw it over here. All right, so let me download this. This is just another little script that I have for Pulsechain. All it really does is it looks for new token creation, and then it also displays the current block number and the current gas and beat. So this one's called Python LP monitor pls.py. And really all it does is it just waits for new LP pairs to be created. and then it gives you the block number and the current gas fees. So in this block, the average gas fee is, you know, 1.3 million, which is pretty low. I mean, that's a pretty low gas fee for Pulsechain right now. I think ETH is really low too. If you look over at the gas monitor on ETH, Gwei is 13 right now. 12. Gwei is 12 right now, but now would be a great time to mint some NFTs, but I'm saving all my ETH for the VMPX, so. But man, if you have some things to do on ETH, you might as well take care of it. Now's the time to do that, that's for sure. We got our bitmaps too. I saw there was some really cool tech being built on the bitmaps. Saw something like a terrain builder for a metaverse. So like you can pop your bitmaps and it'll actually build the terrain. I thought this was pretty funny. So I saw Trevon posted this earlier. Tomorrow Ethereum will be unusable, and then Crypto Kindness posted it, and then Zen Merch Store, and then Anson. So I had to get in there too. What they said: tomorrow Ethereum will be unusable. That's exciting. All right, guys. Well, I think we're going to keep it short. I got a lot to work on. I have a bunch more to do tonight, but I just kind of wanted to show you guys a rundown of the bot and what my plans are for VMPX. We'll be live tomorrow. I'm going to start about an hour before the go live. If you guys have any questions, I'll be in Twitter Spaces tonight. I'll be available. I'll be working on this code. Got a couple tweaks to make. I might update the GitHub with some of my progress. You know, kind of like a V2 or it'll have some updates for the code. But I really appreciate you guys coming out and watching. We've been streaming for about 45 minutes, about 15 minutes less than normal. But I hope everybody has a good 4th of July if I don't see you tomorrow. If you are participating in the VMPX, definitely come stream with me. We'll be covering all the things. So hope everybody has a good night. Stay safe. Be well. We'll talk to you guys tomorrow.